Are you not getting conversions with your Facebook ads? Hey, my name is Cedric, and in this video, I will show you 5 steps that you can follow in order to fix that problem. Tip number 1, navigate to Resource Center and make sure that you don't have any warnings from Facebook. So the way you can navigate to Resource Center is by going inside Manager, and instead of going on the campaign level, you're simply going to click this tab here called Resource Center. Now, if you look down here, this is my demo ad account. And I can see that there's a few things that Facebook is telling me I need to do. And sometimes what I've noticed is that these things can actually affect your campaigns and affect your ads. And there's actually a reason why Facebook tells you to do them. So the first one that we actually see here is adding all our events that we want to be able to track with that specific pixel. So if you don't have that done, that might be one of the problem why you're not either seeing conversions or add to carts or any of these important metrics that you're actually looking into when you're looking at your ads and your performance. So the way you can fix that is actually navigating to Events Manager, and under your pixel, there's something new called Aggravated Event Measurement, and this is where you can go ahead and choose the 8 conversion events that you want to be tracking for that specific pixel. So I actually made a video about that not too long ago that shows you exactly how to add those 8 events. So if ever you go into Resource Center and you see this warning, go ahead and look in the description of this video, and I'll leave the link of the video that I made about aggravated event measurement. So go ahead and watch that. The second thing that usually I see in Resource Center is that they're saying that you gotta verify your website domain. So now that is really important for Facebook to be able to, first of all, verify that you own that business and you own that domain, but it also helps them with tracking. So you really want to make sure that you verify your domain. And in fact, you can't actually do number 1 here if your domain isn't verified. But again, I've actually already made a video showing you how to verify your domain via DNS, HTML file upload, and also through the meta verification. So go ahead and look at the link in the description of this video and you can watch that video. Okay, so now if you didn't have any warnings in the Resource Center, or maybe you had some but you took care of them, well, the second thing that we have to check is if your ads are actually even spending money, and also if they have been approved. So I know this one's an obvious one, but it's gonna happen often where you're gonna publish an ad and it won't get approved, and it's easy to think, wow, I'm not seeing any results or impressions, but maybe it's just because that ad hasn't been approved, so it's not able to spend any money. Or maybe if you're looking at your data on the campaign level, you're gonna see, oh no, I'm spending money. If you go to the amount spent, you're spending money. Now this is a demo account, by the way, so you won't see any spending, but you would be able to see that maybe you're spending money, but if you go on the ads level, you see that, let's say, for example, this ad here actually got rejected. So that could potentially be one reason why you're not really seeing conversions. So it's just really going to the bottom here and looking if you're spending money and if everything has been approved. Okay, so you've looked into Resource Center and you were able to see that you don't have anything that could potentially be the cause of why you're not seeing conversions and results. And if you saw something in Resource Center, again, you changed it and you looked into your ads, you're making sure that all your ads have been approved and they're actually spending money. Now, the third thing after that I would advise you to go ahead and take a look at is to actually go into Events Manager. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna click Events Manager. Once you are in Events Manager, you'll wanna make sure that you have the right pixel selected. Since this is my demo pixel, that's the one I'll be using. And you're gonna wanna navigate to Test Event. And I'm just going to clear this so that it's really obvious for you which events are being fired. But really what we're trying to do here is we're going to be putting the URL of our website right here, and we're going to pretend we're a user buying something on my website, and we're going to see if everything gets triggered and fired to Facebook properly. Because if it doesn't, and if we are making a purchase on a website but aren't seeing any test browser events, well, that means that this is the problem, right? This is why we're not seeing conversions. It's because it's not being tracked properly. So I'm going to open this up. Perfect. So we are on my demo website. As you can see, I am using WordPress as my CMS platform. And if we go back to Ads Manager, we can already see that a page view and a view content event was sent to Facebook. So we can see it's installed on the website, but we're going to assume that we don't know if it's actually firing and sending a purchase event yet because we haven't made a purchase on the website. So let's go ahead and test that. So I'm just going to go here and I'll click this product here. And I'm just going through the purchase process, scroll all the way down, and I'm going to place my order. Perfect. Now we've just made an order. So if the pixel and the conversions are set up properly, well, we should see a purchase event in Facebook. And if you have a service-based business and you're tracking lead, well, again, go through the same process and see if you are sending a lead event to Facebook. So I'm going to go back to Events Manager, and if we scroll down here, I can see that indeed we were able to send a purchase event, and it came from this URL, which is this URL exact right here. So now we know that if we are not seeing conversions in Ads Manager or purchases, well, we know that it's not because our Facebook pixel isn't set up and tracking events properly. So we can move on to the fourth thing on my list, which is taking a look at the website experience and the page speed. So to take a look at that, I always like to go back to Ads Manager. And I am in the right ad account, I'm in my demo account, and I'm just gonna pick this one here. And we can see that we have one ad. So what I like to do is always click edit my ad and take a look at the URL I have in my ad. This is a demo, so I don't have a URL here, but if you did have a new URL, which you should, I would copy this URL and open it in the browser. And first of all, make sure that you are driving people to an actual page. Make sure that you didn't do an error in the URL that, and when actually someone clicks on the ad, it brings them to a 404 page or a page that wasn't actually tied to what you're showing in the ad. So that's the first thing I look when I'm investigating my ads and seeing if it might be because of where I'm bringing the traffic to. So again, like what I do is I copy the URL and I take a look at it. And let's say that was the URL I had in my ad, my homepage. Well, depending on my ad, especially if it's showing a product, I would probably not put my homepage URL and instead I would put the URL of that exact product. So I would click on this product here and copy that URL. And let's say that was the ad and the product I was promoting in my ad, I would put that exact URL and it would bring the user directly on this page. Now, another thing that I look at is the SSL. So I know it's kind of obvious and it's really, really rare that it's going to expire or something like that, but it actually happened to me in the past where we were running ads for our agency on another domain that we own. And everything was good and the ads were running well, and boom, suddenly I saw a huge drop in my conversions. Well, I went through this process and then I took a look at the URL, and turns out that my URL wasn't actually secure. And what was happening for a lot of people that were clicking on the URL is I was showing this big message saying that the page isn't secure. So that was really affecting my conversion rate. So I called my hosting company right away and we fixed that. And then I was able to really fix the problem. And our conversion drop was really just because of the SSL certificate. So it's making sure that your website is secure, that what you are showing on the page matches what you are also advertising in your ad. So you got to make sure that these two matches, but also taking a look at the load speed. So you can use a tool like GTmetrix and then simply put the URL that you're bringing to user and click on test your site. And it's actually going to give you a breakdown of how fast or how slow is that specific page. And it's also going to give you recommendations on how you can improve the speed, because that is really important, but not just for the user, because I also believe that Facebook has their own system where they take a look at how fast your page loads and they actually grade your ad accordingly. So if you're bringing users to a site that is really slow, Facebook will actually show your ad to less people because they know it's a bad user experience. Now, that's not something that's Facebook mentioned or advertised that they have that sort of process internally, but I strongly believe that Facebook takes a look at these sorts of things and takes a look at the page experience in order to properly rank and determine that they want to show your ad to a specific user. So that is the fourth thing, is taking a look at the website speed, making sure that it's a great user experience, your website is secure, and that whatever you're showing in the ad reflects what you are showing on the landing page. Now let's talk about the last thing that is on my little 5 steps list, and it's actually looking at the audience and the ads. And I wanted to leave this one for last because advertisers often jump into the conclusion that their ads aren't performing or aren't getting any results because of the actual image or the creative itself, or because of the audiences. But I often see that it's actually because things aren't set up properly in your ad account. So I wanted to really make sure that those other factors weren't the reason you're seeing conversions before even getting into the audiences and the ads. But now that's what we're going to get into. So I'm going to go back to Ads Manager. And I want you to understand that what you are paying for with Facebook is not really for conversions. I mean, that is your goal, but what you're paying for is for the user's attention. And if you are not seeing any results, it could potentially be because of your ads or because of your audiences. But from my experience, I was able to see some conversions with things as easy as a carousel. Let's say if you're selling a product with a really broad audience, when sometimes we're just targeting a city and still see conversions. Now, the cost per result wasn't amazing, but we were still able to see conversions. And sometimes that's what you want, and it's a great place to start because at least you're getting some data in. You can get an idea of what is your cost to acquire, especially with newer account. That's something that we like to do. But if you've been running ads for a few weeks now and you haven't seen any conversions, at this point, you got to ask yourself, is it an audience or creative problem, right? Take a look at your competitors or other people in a similar industry and go into ads library. So you can go to Facebook ad library and take a look at what they're doing and see what kind of ads they're using. Are they using images, videos, and carousel? And try to compare your ads with their ads and ask yourself, are they really better quality? If no, if they're about the same, then think about who is in your audience. Is it a broad audience? Are you doing a lookalike? Are you doing just interest-based? Really try to put yourself into the users or the potential customer's shoe and try to understand where do they hang out and what sort of interest they have. And just by putting these interests in your ad sets, you should be able to actually see some conversions, keeping in mind that you have some decent ads and that you have an audience that makes sense, but that is also big enough, right? You don't really want an audience that is much smaller than 1 million people in that audience. So if you follow these steps and you make sure that your audience is big enough and targeting people that would potentially be interested in your products, and for you, it's logic that, let's say you're selling a fitness equipment, that you might want to be targeting people that is interested in fitness. Well, that would be a good audience to start. Would it be your most profitable audience? Probably not. I'm sure you would be able to create some more A/B split tests and do things like lookalike audiences of the people that have purchased your product, or maybe social engagers, and maybe find a higher return on ad spend. But you should still be able to get some results at maybe a really high price, but then it would let you understand that, okay, you are seeing results and now you finally have numbers to play with. But again, if you're not seeing any results and you have some decent ads and a decent audience, well, you gotta really ask yourself, did I find product market fit? And maybe the issue isn't really Facebook ads, but maybe it is more with your product or more with your service. Not saying that it's bad or anything like that, but maybe Facebook isn't the place to advertise on, or maybe you're not yet ready to advertise on Facebook because you don't have that authority. which you can definitely build with Facebook ads. But at this point, maybe having a conversion objective isn't really a realistic goal for you at the moment. So those are things that you got to keep in mind. And if you follow all these 5 steps that I've mentioned throughout this video and you're still not seeing conversions after a few weeks, then you got to truly ask yourself, like, am I ready for conversions? Did I build enough trust? Do I have enough people that know who I am, right? Because people don't just buy from people that they don't know and that they don't trust. Sometimes it does happen, but if you want to build a long-term business where customers come back and tell their friends and everything, you got to build this buzz. And that is sometimes something that can take quite a bit of time to do. But that is it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we release videos about Facebook ads every week. And if you did enjoy this content, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. But I would like to know which of these 5 steps helped you, if any of them helped you out. And I would also like to know when you have issues with your ad account, whether that's with conversions or maybe another campaign objective, what are some steps that you follow to ensure that your ads are running smoothly or that you fix these problems? Let me know in the comment section of this video. Bye for now.